plus 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 now in case I have to bounce.
Wrestling break. All they had to do was exactly what they did. Welcome back to Wrestling Brain. You are here joining us for our all-in 2025 review live from Texas, their biggest show of the year. We've done a ton around the channel this week. Greatly appreciate your support. It's been a big one around here, but let's go off with a bang. Let's do it biggest, baddest, and most important for all, because Ryan, let's pull the curtain back. I canceled the movie I was going to go see. I thought maybe we can do this show in an hour and a half, but this pay-per-view was just too good and deserves the old full attention. I'm Uturu Sinza, Josh Custodio here to go through the whole show with you. And look who it is. He's a stalwart. He's been a beast on the channel this week. Oh my God, we've been leaning on the great host of the hardest podcast, a White Stripes retrospective song by song, Ryan Schapp. Ryan, how was your all-in experience tonight, brother?
You know, I gotta say, this day started off on such a good foot. Everything, the planets were aligning. I go get my box fit class on. I drive to Costco to buy a small secondary air conditioner for the office here. I'm not getting cooked in here. I'm having the time of my life. I have to tell you one anecdote, and I will shut up and we'll talk about this show.
Great.
I got such a good random compliment. I'm all jacked. I'm all sweaty ass from boxing. I go to Costco. I'm looking for a cart. This middle-aged guy, he can't find one either. And I was just like, yeah, I got to buy an air conditioner. I need a cart. He's like, by the looks of you could just throw one over your shoulder. And I'm like,
that's not bad. Thank you.
Thank you, random gentleman.
Old guy. And thank you to the subs coming in. I can't hear them, but that's completely fine. We've got Qui-Gon Jinn and Juice subscribing for 35 months with Prime. Ashton Kutcher gifting one to Saturday night's main event. I imagine the show everybody watched tonight. Do we know what happened? Is Goldberg done?
I have it on. I turned on the counter programming, and boy, it isn't very good. I got to tell you that, fellas.
Imagine
folks watching
by comparison. Thank you for the subscriptions coming in. Definitely appreciate that. Of course, if you have Amazon Prime, I can hear them now. You have Twitch Prime, which means you have a free Twitch subscription. We would greatly appreciate it if you would give it to us. And that goes for you too on the podcast feed. If you're listening to this on the podcast, just hit subscribe on twitch.tv/wrestlingbrain and log in with your Amazon and we'll figure it out. Okay, enough fiddling around. Thank you for all the support this week. Let's talk about the main event of All In 2025. Hangman Page challenging Jon Moxley for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I want to set the stage fully. The Death Riders, regardless of how you felt about them at different points in this run, I'm not here to relitigate that. We've talked about that to death. But they were effective in terms of everyone in that building wanted Jon Moxley to lose the title tonight and wanted Hangman Page to win the title tonight. You could feel this energy in the air. It felt like it had there were a couple matches tonight, I suppose all of the top three that had an enormous fight feel, but I felt like this one even surpassed Omega Okada, which is no easy task in terms of these guys are about to lock up. We all know what's coming. Let's see it play out. It starts with just Jon Moxley escorted with Marina Shafir. We know that it isn't going to stay these two for long, but they do a Jon Moxley and Hangman Page sort of feeling out process, a little bit of brawling. They're getting a feel for each other, but we all know that this is the calm before the storm. Then glass enters the equation. Barbed wire tables at ringside enter the equation. Big moves like the Angel's Wings into said glass and DVDs through said tables occur. But the first heel in is Wheeler Yuta, who runs in with a chair shot to stop Hangman Page from connecting with the first buckshot lariat. To fight him off, Will Ospreay runs in, who gets an enormous reaction. These people have already seen Will Ospreay tonight, and they're like, that's a good guy we need. Hell yeah. Unfortunately, he is quickly overwhelmed by Claudio, Gabe Kidd, and Wheeler Yuta. It's a 3v1 situation. And at this point in the match, I was just like on ecstasy. I was so all in on what was coming. Pardon the pun, didn't even mean to do that. But the energy I felt as Will Ospreay was getting beat down, and I was like, it's time for Team Babyface. It's time for Team AEW. This is the signal. And sure enough, here they came. Marina Shafir goes over to the corner to try and retrieve the briefcase and title. She's handcuffed there by Prince Nana, who gets an enormous reaction for this moment. That's another babyface. We see a video package of Darby Allin at the top of Mount Everest, who barely looks like Darby Allin, Ryan. I think climbing Mount Everest changes you because he had like red facial hair, I think. Did not look very different to me than Darby Allin. But it was Darby Allin. And at the top of Mount Everest, he managed to cut a brief promo on Mox, which is, let's just call it what it is, one of the fucking sickest things imaginable. These guys go so violent so early. They open with like this giant stabbing spot. The blood, Hangman Page has Mox in his full guard and is tacking with a fork, showing Jon Moxley he is willing to match him to go where he needs to go. Now, right after that Darby promo is not when Darby comes out. In fact, this is when his Pacific Northwest brethren, Bryan Danielson, makes his return. At this point, I'm not even sure I was watching television anymore. At this point, I was like experiencing something. I was in another place. I love Bryan Danielson, obviously. Who doesn't? But I don't even consider myself like among like the Bryan Danielson guys.
Yeah,
and I was just unglued for this guy. Him and Darby take out. Oh, sorry. Well, he starts attacking the remaining Death Riders. Then Darby Allin ascends. Ryan, you know arenas better than me.
Yeah.
Where the hell was he here? Where was Darby Allin?
He was somewhere far, like it's a big retractable roof in Texas there at Globe Life. Like, I think he was at the absolute tippy top, which is why they had to cut away. And I'm like, well, where the hell is he? And they cut back, and then he finally gets down because he's not hanging up behind those screens the whole night. Like, he's got to come and go. And, you know, when that happened, I was like, you know, the pessimistic fan will go, oh, that's so unbelievable. I'm like, man, the best thing about AEW is like, one of my favorite things is what they did to honor and respect Sting. And like Sting entered outdoor Nitro from a helicopter on the beach. Like, sometimes you just need to suspend it, suspend disbelief, and just enjoy what you're watching. Because if the man's up on Mount Everest filming a promo, like, of course he's going to come down from the ceiling. He was already so high up in the sky. You saw the video. How else is he? He's not going to come in from the front door.
Well, like, you're sort of joking, but there is that linearity between video from the top of Mount Everest and now you see him rappel down. Does anyone in the chat know how high Darby Allin started this rappel from, because that's the highest I've ever seen. That's Sting in the rafters, has nothing on. I see Ashton Kutcher there in the chat, who is on fire tonight in the Wrestling Brain Discord, but saying he was in the Jumbotron. He's not. You can see that he starts he goes through the Jumbotron. He's above it to start with.
It's probably at least 10 stories, I'd say. Like, he's high up.
Man. Darby Allin, just one of my favorite wrestlers on planet Earth. I'm so glad he's back. Him and Bryan Danielson chase off the remaining Death Riders. And then, I'm not joking, my literal favorite moment of the match, besides maybe the very end where John Mox was like, well, I'll just hang myself. I'll just do it. My favorite part of the match was the best face-off I've seen in a fight since Vanderlei Silva and Crow Cop. They're on their hands and knees, both bloody, and John Moxley just goes like animalistic Donkey Kong mode, like starts banging the mat. They go forehead to forehead and their energy carries on. Then they break into like a forearm sequence. That's the best forearm sequence. Again, John Moxley, among my very favorite wrestlers who have ever lived. But sometimes, forearm, I think we're all pretty used to it. This had the fire of 1,000 suns behind it that you can only really get by getting here. This is where you get into the huge spots, the apron to the table, dead eye. This is where you have a really close 9 count where Marina Shafir comes back to life after I think it was what takes her out earlier.
She took that spot through the table.
DVD through a table. Thank you. She gets back up and she manages to like help Mox get back to his feet barely, because this match could just be so overbooked and we could sit here critiquing it, but they have the timing dialed in. Everyone's serving a very direct purpose that's tied to either their feud or like their general utility in these things. So the Death Riders are chased off here, but Bryan and Darby have exited the building. This is where John Moxley goes under the ring and he gets out a bed of nails.
I love the bed of nails spot. I got to tell you, Josh, like I'm not the biggest, hardcore deathmatch wrestling fan, but I love a deathmatch spot where, I do not suspend my disbelief. And I know, okay, you learn in science class in like elementary school that you put all your weight on one nail, it's going to fuck you up. You lay on a bed of nails, anything's fine. So I'm like,
you're gonna be fine.
It looks like the sickest spot, but like, he's fine. It looks just, and you immediately forget like the common sense, and you're like, that son of a bitch is laying on a bed of nails. He is dead right now.
It's true. Like, and it has such incredible ring presence. Like when it's just sitting there, there's no like Chekhov's table thing where you sort of forget about the table. All you can think about is the bed of nails, and all the performers could think about are the bed of nails. It almost becomes like mobile barbed wire in a way, where they're like constantly making sure they're not tripping over it or putting them in position to be attacked from it. This though causes the Young Bucks to run out. The current founding fathers and former EVPs hit the double super kick and an EVP trigger on Hangman Page. I'm not going to say I ever really thought that Mox was going to win in this match, but I was like, that's pretty strong to have to overcome from Hangman Page. Sorry, this is where the where the moment happens where Nana chains Marina Shafir to the table.
I reacted so loudly for that. Amanda's watching in the other room like, oh, did something graphic happen? I'm like, no, just a classic wrestling trope. A guy with
this guy we love is dancing.
Yeah, and this mean woman is handcuffed and can't interfere and break more rules.
I bring up on the A show on Wednesdays, and of course we do Dynamite review every Wednesday after Dynamite, how much I love people who are really able to just be their character the entire time they're wrestling, or like very aware of how their character would wrestle. John Moxley is always sort of a gold standard for this, frankly, but in this match, like you saw that he was concerned twice in this match, something we haven't seen from him since he won this title. He was concerned when Marina got chained. He was like, hang on. Wheeler's my insurance policy. Claudio's my insurance policy. Here, Gabe Kidd's my mercenary, but also sort of my insurance policy. But really, my last line of defense has been Marina Shafir. She has not left my side. They do trios matches. They do tag matches. They go here, they go there. Marina Shafir has not left my side. And to see her taken out, he was concerned. I think people could probably guess when the other time was, but we'll talk about it here in a second.
I just had such an appreciation for John Moxley in this match as an artist. Wrestling is an art, and like, adrenaline takes you so far, but you have to find a place, find an inspiration when they're covered in blood, they're beating each other up on the ground, and you just saw this. I believed everything he was telling me tonight, and he did such a good job, and I'm just like, you gotta go find that fire, and you need to be able to let it out believably and authentically. And I just kind of had a few moments in the match where I'm like, God, I'd love to be able to do that.
That's very well said by you. There's just no reason for him to be John Moxley. He's a multimillionaire. He's one of the biggest signings AEW's ever had. I'm sure his second contract at New York was quite large, but he loves this shit. He's proven it over and over and over, and he will go down as one of my favorite wrestlers of absolute all time. Now that Darby Allin's back, those two are fighting for my favorite guy on the roster, but that's a very strong two. Here comes a guy who's also on that list, Swerve Strickland, to deliver the chain. There's two things on the show that happened word for word as I said they would in the preview show.
Yep.
And word for word. Swerve Strickland comes out, and Colin Fleetwood Mac, he's got the chain, and he throws it to his former foe. And I wouldn't call them allies, but friend of convenience in this moment, maybe Hangman Page, who's able to utilize. Oh, sorry, I should say Hangman also takes two horrific bumps onto the bed of nails, including a Death Rider. Mox gets his arm and sort of protects him. I wish the camera was on the other side, but just the visual is crazy from that face down onto the bed of nails. Going face down tonight's going to be called Okada mode, by the way, who took a crazy Necro Butcher face down bump tonight. With this moment, I loved this between Hangman and Swerve. Again, you're just paying off so many things, but Swerve is a capable enough pro wrestling actor, too, to pay off the moment where, like, he's no part of you is like, oh, Swerve loves Hangman and they're all good and they're great. It's like, hey, you need this. Like, it's after taking those, Hangman Page manages to square off against Mox, throw a big bomb covered in the chain, which sets up for a buckshot lariat onto the bed of nails. Then he launches Moxley, gets the chain around his neck. And I get how because Mox gets out of this earlier in the match, and I get how they did it there. Mox has the one hand in the whole time. He's waving, he's creating space. I need Mr. Ferguson, who I know listens to this. Maybe he can explain it to me, because he explained the Ibushi stuff to me last week after I said this. I need someone to explain to me how John Moxley does the finish of this match without just fucking up his trachea. I know, again, I'm not a pro wrestler in any stretch, but I know chokes incredibly well through jiu-jitsu. I know my way around a choke much better than the average bear. Your trachea to not get insanely fucked up when he's adding pressure to it. He just does the very end of this match. He's like, oh, fuck it. Before he taps, he's thinking about it. He's like hopping around with his ass on the apron, yanking his head down on this chain. I have no explanation how a guy could do this. This is Penn and Teller shit to me. Beyond John Moxley goes, oh, I have vacation coming up. I will just fuck myself up horribly for one of the sickest finishes. I will never forget the John Moxley hanging at the end of this match. Ever. It was so hardcore. How do you do it?
There was a moment, and they're saying it in the chat too, where like he's protecting himself, and you could see it with his left hand, kind of holding it.
At the beginning, he is.
Yes, but then there's like, let's say a 20-second window where he's like, "Okay, we're going home," just like, it's incredible. It's just, and yeah, what I'm on vacation. Oh, I might have a sore throat for a week, but like fuck it, these fellas are going to be talking about it because we did it we did it honest, we did it the right way, and man, like it resonated perfectly. Like I loved this match.
Just the mental hurdle to overcome and to pull your hand out there and start yoinking yourself around is a tough guyness and a level of pro wrestling that is well worthy of accolade. And John Moxley, I will forever defend you against the stupidest mouth breathers on Blue Sky or Twitter. I'm in the trenches for you, brother. Don't you worry. No one's defended the Death Riders more over the last 7 months, Mox. And tonight you said J0. I'm gonna go out there and actually hang myself on this chain for you. This finishes, of course, not only. I love how you called him an artist, Ryan. I keep circling that. because the finish feels like a painting to some degree, but it's also just so thematically perfect. Like you just couldn't land on something better than, I don't know if this planned out months ago. I suppose it was, but
Yeah.
Mox, you're going to go get the Bulldog choke over forever. Choke, choke, choke. All you're going to do, choke, 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 choke. And in the end, you're going to get hung by the Hangman. You will be choked by the Hangman. Like that's just, sometimes I don't really know what people mean by pro wrestling storytelling. Like sometimes people just say that it's like, oh, this match doesn't have a story. Like to me, that's pro wrestling storytelling. Like you're creating something beyond the punches and kicks. There's a meta substance to what you're performing, and this was just all over the place. I'm sure we'll have plenty more to say about this match, Ryan, but I scooted through a bunch of the run-ins in the middle. I'm sure you wanted to get in there. Was there anything you wanted to touch on, Darby, Bryan, or really anything there in the middle? And thank you for letting me sort of encapsulate the thing.
You're talking about artists doing what they're good at. I'm just gonna sit back. No, I loved I loved the run-ins. There's a few folks in the chat that were Kev Sell here and somebody else, T Dills 2020, kind of talking about the idea of Sting coming in. And we kind of there was an optimism in our fantasy booking, but there was a New York pilled kind of mindset. Like 5,000 guys are going to walk in one after another. We're going to pop and it's going to be cool. But like everything about the run-ins made sense.
Yep. That's literally it, right? Like, there's a reason for everyone to be here. Oh, I know why he's here. The second you see him. Oh, yeah.
And I love Bryan Danielson coming in with, I don't know what mask he was wearing.
Blue Panther, I believe.
Yeah. So it makes perfect sense for him to run through the crowd, reveal him, they've got that connection. Darby Allin gets like the most over-the-top grandiose thing. Swerve comes in, finishes that arc they've had. I mean, these fuckers were burning each other's houses down how many months ago? And so just like the run-ins were not just like, hey, I know that guy, I'm going to cheer. It was, oh, that relates to this and this relates to that and that. Like I just when things are so good and easy, you don't have to gum up the works by making like overcomplicating things or trying to right. I know we could do this or we could do that. And man, like I think we talked about it on Wednesday's show, and I was talking, and it was basically saying like the New York pilled mind of you're going to think that it's going to go this way and that way and that way, and they're going to do this, and I hope it's still good. Like based on the build for this whole show, based on the way this whole show was put together and executed, like I feel like a lot of fans of AEW you can rest easy and kind of shake that dumb worry and that mindset, because they have just shown in countless ways, so many different ways, that they are booking wrestling the right way. They are booking wrestling the compelling way and booking wrestling like the way that gets people over. Everybody that ran in and was involved, there was meaning behind it.
Cheered.
Yeah, like massive heat, bloodthirsty rage, and then at the end of it, when Hangman finally wins, and we all knew he was going to win, we all did. The 1% sickos would say Mox would win, MJF cashes in, all new crazy bullshit. No. We all knew Hangman was going to win. I didn't think the pops would get bigger as the night went on a very long show. That was a Road Warrior pop. That was a Von Erichs and the Sportatorium pop. Whatever bullshit cliche you want to say about a reaction, that trumped it tonight. And a homegrown character who had this incredible, long-standing, long-term like character arch and character development, fucking delivered, and they finished that story. And it just, it was incredibly special, and I loved it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, very well said, brother. What it was for me, and I want to linger on what you were saying there about why does this play different than New York? It's true that it makes sense, but like in those bloodline things, I think it makes sense for a lot of those people to be running in. But tonight, it just reignited for me that, I'm a child of ECW in a lot of ways,
Yep.
and I love these. It made me realize like New York stole the joy of that style of match away from me. My brain immediately goes, "Oh, this is bad," because it's a run-in. But no, it's not. It's a pro wrestling tool. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
they did it in their main events for 2.5 years with the exact same people every single time, and so they are the biggest and they are the loudest, and so you latently start to go, well, that's just horrible. But then
Yeah.
tonight it feels like you're taking a shower and washing that stink off, and I'm like, again, I was thinking of ECW. It's like, oh yeah, I like the, oh no, it's him, oh no, it's him. Again, I don't want this to be the main event scene of AEW set standard, but for a giant payoff like this,
Yeah.
this was my match of the night. Like, this was just too much fun to watch,
Yeah.
and that's just so incredible.
And
Okay,
a lot
go ahead, sorry.
of people are bringing up in the chat that the only person that hit John Moxley was Hangman. So
Yeah, it all stays on the outside.
there's
No one
no
directly involved with the finish.
yeah, and like I think one of the issues you have with run-ins in wrestling is like, oh, this person's going to beat that person because these people beat the shit out of them, and they get this the greasy throw my shoulder, throw my arm over them and get the win. No, it's like there was there was the protagonist overcoming all the obstacles, all the odds, all of the all of the adversity that he was facing for this whole run, faces it in one funnel goddamn concentrated moment. But these people that have been wronged come in and help, and they don't, it's not a cheap, nothing about the victory for Hangman was cheap, and nothing about the loss for Mox was, oh, I gotta protect this, or I gotta look strong. It was, everything about it was right. And I think Josh, I think it just comes down to trust. And I think that we trust the direction of this company. And yeah, there was some less than desirable decisions that have been made. There was an era of, hey, who are the biggest New York names that we can, for good and for bad, bring them in and increase our kind of profile. But now they're doing what is the best for development and for creating like homegrown people, and it's a trust. You're like
It does feel like we've rounded that corner.
and it's nice. Like, it's nice to not be like, okay, why are they doing this? Well, that's dumb, but maybe if this happens and if that happens,
you can actually let it play out instead of being like, okay, well, you can't just say that into infinity. Okay, let's I heard Bobby Burritos in the chat there saying he has 100 thoughts, so I want to put you, Ryan, on task. I want to make this a chat heavy night tonight. You can be the voice of the chat. Put your thoughts in there. Anybody, if you have like a take you want to get off, and after I'm done blabbing, Ryan will spit out some of those. So anything anybody wants about Mox and Hangman, if you had a big takeaway, we'll get to those if you throw them in, and then we'll do 1 to 7 scores, and then we'll do keep it or kick it. But I still have a lot that I want to unpack about this main event. We're going all night tonight. Because for me, I'm curious about where the Death Riders go from here. Because Mox quit. Mox, it is clear as day. I don't think this is a rematch situation. I think they're going away for a little while, the entire Death Riders, but I do think they're going to stay intact once they return. I think there's just too much invested in them right now. But my main question I'll throw to you here, Brian, and I'll actually ask the chat here too. Is Bryan Danielson back? Because if he's back, it's him versus Wheeler Yuta. But was this a one-off, or is Bryan Danielson back? Chat ring in too. Is he back, or is this just him running in?
As those come in, it just makes me think like, you've got your nostalgia, you've got your big name return. He enters the fold with valid reasons, and yeah, he doesn't need to be back. A lot of people are saying, are suggesting it was just a run-in. Ashton Kutcher suggesting there will be a match, and it's great that they're in a position where it doesn't need to be a match, but if there is, that's just an added bonus.
Right.
A lot of people thinking a couple people thinking, it's just going to be a very part-time kind of big pay-per-view or big Dynamite kind of return, a little part timer, and
It'd be
suggesting.
extremely funny if he was the new Sting. If he just showed up and hit the Psycho knee. Now that he's always dressed in the blue demon mask. That seems like a good thing for Ron. So okay, we don't think Brian's back. Darby is, right? We think Darby's back.
I hope so. I can't think of. He's probably one of the most missed wrestlers on the roster.
My number 2 after Eddie Kingston. Darby.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. That's a very fair ranking.
But I miss watching Darby wrestle more. Like if I only have one back on TV, it's Darby because Darby's the best TV wrestler I've ever seen.
I would agree with you on that. I miss just the character.
Who has like better 12-minute memorable matches than Darby Allin? I don't think they've ever existed.
I can't. All I'm gonna say is I don't know. My boy Brett, but you're right. It's he can make just about any TV match it's just so memorable and just so significant. Darby is gonna go after them. Chat suggesting maybe Darby comes back and just runs roughshod over the Death Riders, and maybe that's what kind of.
This is where Forbidden Door makes it interesting because that's our next pay-per-view is Forbidden Door, right? And so it's not as clear to me because I do think Darby Mox is the eventual direction. But I think Mox, I think there's a chance Mox might not even be on Forbidden Door is more where my head's at right now.
Hope not. He's needed a vacation for 5 years.
yeah, guys.
That damn CM Punk screwed everything up.
Yeah. Hangman Page is going to come out on Wednesday and be like, I broke my arm at the match. I'm injured. And TK's going to be like, all right, 4-man tournament for the vacant AEW World Heavyweight title. Now Mox is back. All right, yeah.
Just the world's most tired man.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Okay, so I think they find something for Darby. Maybe Wheeler sticks around, and like that's the beginning of it. But very interested to see. I would love to hear what we hear from Darby Allin this Wednesday on Dynamite. That would get me extremely psyched. The Young Bucks, my co-host on Higher Brian Quinby on our preview show said he thinks win or lose, the Young Bucks are heading on vacation. They were pretty useful in this match. They did lose their match and the EVP titles earlier in the night, but do we think they're gone for at least a little while here, Ryan?
I think so. For as infrequently as sometimes they appeared, they were a very prominent part of a lot of storylines. Like they were involved with their own, they were involved with the Death Riders. There was a lot, and I think somebody said it in the Discord or maybe in on the preview show, like they can take a breather, come back and be whatever they want to be, whether it's, hey, it's PWG 2012 or what have you, but they are due for a reset because like I get the potential of them trying to do things that they used to do as EVPs. But like outside of a couple of skits and a couple of promos, just you don't need that. Like they were sent off for a vacation and just let them have it.
Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, of course, both also run in this match. Swerve Strickland world title bound. Is he going to go after Hangman now that he's title? They're both babyface. I happen to think a Swerve heel turn is coming, but I don't know if it's as soon as Wednesday or something. I don't know what the immediate direction for Swerve Strickland would be. Anybody have a good guess?
Yeah, well, I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see what the Brainiacs in the chat have to say, because I can't think of two better baby faces, two well-rounded baby faces than Swerve and Hangman.
And they'll do babyface versus babyface for Forbidden Door now that I think about it. Like, Swerve wouldn't necessarily... Oh, not for that feud, though.
Well, MJF is the number one contender because of that Money in the Bank thing.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of clarity. I think that there's a chance that's a TV Dynamite match. They like to do big MJF matches on TV.
Bobby Burrito's suggesting MJF is the world title heel for now.
Yeah.
And then cycle like the Sedines, which is very beautiful. That's how they cycled. Swerve versus Will, number one contender match at All Out, ?
I wouldn't complain.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think that would be good. Like, they're working together, but they don't have that history and that baggage. Like, like Swerve and Hangman have. So like, yeah, I could see a bit of a professional rivalry between Swerve and Will Ospreay. I think that would be really good too. And it would kind of cast them both in a bit of a different light. So I would be all for that.
I love it. That was our main event. For my money, nothing they could have done better. I loved it. My match of the night. I hope that Jon Moxley gets his respect. I think the Hangman Page run is going to be fun. I'm curious to see how it goes. You know, this is not a critique of Hangman Page in any way. It's just always the case when the big baby face finally completes the chase. It's like, all right, tonight was definitely the season finale of that. And we got to see what the season premiere has to hold, because they blew everything out tonight, and it was beautiful. What a joy to watch. So thank you, AEW. And now we'll do what it is we do best around here.
What's that?
We will go to the Brainiacs in the chat, and we will get their 1 to 7 scores, Ryan, on a scale of 1 to 7, with 1 being the worst and 7 being the best. What do you rate tonight's edition of AEW All In 2025? It was 6 hours long. You probably paid money for it. There was a lot to take in. Ryan, please hit the beautiful music.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Come on.
You want to read out the scores tonight, Ryan?
Loved it last week. I loved it on whatever day that was. On Thursday. I'm gonna love it again. Cycle Like the Steeds with a 7. Florida Panthers Marlin with a 7. Anfield Road 1 with a 7. Skookum with a 7. Kevzell with a 7. E-Prime with a 7. ALB 19 with a 7. McVander Hughes with a 7. XX 307 with a 7. GT Ritchie with a 7. He's Torque Tenderloin with a 7. Danny Midlaff with a 7. Quinn Gonjin and Juice 7. Bobby Burritos with a 7. Dark Lord, I don't know, with a 7. Corvax 1266 with a 7. Irish Mac 21 with a 7. Ashton Kutcher with a 7. Ninja Star 506 with a 6.5. Astle Beer with a 7. Who Cares 12345 123 with a 7. Kegs 1717 with a 7. And Trillium McGinnis with a 7. And Severiel with a 7.
It's not so easy, is it, Ryan? People say, oh, Josh, you're horrible at reading out the scores. You're an animal. You should be jailed. And it's not so easy.
I recognize some of these names, and then I'm like, I don't know, is that how you say that? I'm just gonna
yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
butcher
listen,
this shit.
RL, our friend RL. I had his name wrong forever on here. I thought it was Hitsmerl. I'm with the chat. 7 for me. Truly, truly great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, for the last 3 matches of this card, which really, first of all, match order, perfect for the top 3. I'm so glad they didn't do some sort of popcorn. Can I be validated about the popcorn match thing now? Can we imagine if they would have put that 4-way for the TNT title in between Omega Okada and the main? I mean, forget about it.
They did the full New Japan big event. Like, we're ramping up, and I think that is the way to do things. If you can't follow a banger match, then that match,
yeah,
you need to be able, like, you need to build it accordingly, and you can have that breather through. You can have that breather through an extended entrance or a highlight pack.
Video packages, you have video packages all over the damn show. You got,
yeah.
I thought that this, Ryan, if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind heading over to Wikipedia or wherever and finding out how long, roughly, in combination, the top 3 matches, Mercedes Tony, Omega Okada, and the main event were roughly combined?
I will do that, and I'm also going to hit a stopwatch because it's a Saturday night's main event, and their main event is starting shortly.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I got to tell you. You'd think it's funny that I just am not interested in that. Like, I'm not saying in a hater way. Like, I see a lot of people say, oh, how could you be watching? Hate it. I just don't even think about them for like a night like this. It's like, really? It's like Gunther Goldberg? Like, that's my main takeaway is like, you could Gunther anything on, it's on just Netflix, right?
Yeah,
It'd be the
We gotta
easiest
go
thing in
rock!
the world.
it's on NBC.
That's the real problem. Irish Mac knows. It's like it would be kind of easy to get me to watch like a Gunther main event on Netflix.
Yeah.
But it's like Goldberg. Like I don't know. I'm just
Josh, you'll like this. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné got 24 minutes. Okada versus Omega 30 minutes, and your main event 35-55. So about 36.
Yeah.
So as the importance and the significance of each match ramped up, they got a little bit more time to tell that story.
So let's call it an hour and a half. Those top
Yep.
three matches. I think it's a little shy of that, but whatever. And thank you. I see Double X threw it in the chat too. Thank you guys. Let's call it roughly an hour and a half, okay? Because for me, this is a 7. And I love you too. For me, this is such a cinch 7 because, and I'm not just saying this. Like, you would think maybe I'd be a little fatigued of watching wrestling. I stream about it all the time. I note take it. I do commentary 2 weekends a month for it. I promote it. Like, I spend a lot of time in the world. And there's some weeks where it's like, I'm watching Collision and I'm like, am I even like taking this in or am I doing this out of habit? On a night like tonight, it's like, oh no, I'm the biggest mark there's ever been. Like for this hour and a half, I'm just off my couch, like flatly, like just the main's the match of the night, but really this top of card, the story of the night to me, the takeaway is that the expectations on Omega Okada and Tony Mercedes were through the roof. For those two matches to have delivered in the way they did is a small miracle, and the way the top of this card just had me rocking, man. I'm crushing the sparkling waters. I'm in the Discord. I'm posting. I'm watching these, and let's talk about the co-main here. Omega Okada 5. Maybe a very stinky take from me. I remember this was maybe a year and a half. Or no, it must have been when they signed Okada. Zoobs asked me if I would run Omega Okada again if I was Tony, and I said no. Well, happy to take the L there. I thought that feud was just sort of perfect as was. I'm a little peeved they now have one that has a ref bump in it, but that's just the very dweeby, nerdy wrestling side of me. But in terms of quality, it said on the preview show, or maybe it was the Zoobs who absolutely crushed it on talking about this on the preview show. I think it was him actually saying that these guys needed to not try to do something as good as their last 4 matches, but something that was different and could reference it and could show where they were in time versus it.
Yeah.
And I thought in particular, Kenny Omega, I'm not going to say was unrecognizable in this match. Nothing to the sort. But I think maybe it's the highlighting how great Okada is. Never was the diverticulitis stuff used more interestingly or more convincingly, because it wasn't just Kenny selling when he got hit to the body, which did happen. And then after, this is so Okada. This is why Okada's great, for the record. Okada loves to do like, okay, this move we did it this time and it's like this, so next time we do that exact same move and it's going to be different. That's like the Okada absolute trait to me, like more than any other one Okada thing. It's like, okay, you can kick out of the still Rainmaker, but never the full extension one. Like he has all these little tweaks to this sort of stuff in the best ways possible. But here I just thought that was illustrated so well, where he goes for the Rainmaker and fakes it and just punches Kenny to the body. And then he does that twice more, but alternating what he actually does. So once he does go to the body, and then he eventually does use it to land a Rainmaker, because Kenny is so fearful that he's going to go to the body that he has to cover his body, and he exposes his head. Ryan, you've been doing boxing. You know a body shot is only there to open up the head and steal the cardio. Like, and to see that parlayed in these guys' pro wrestling language is so cool. And to see that brainy, geeky side of Okada stack in this layered match it's just so cool. Anfield Road saying, motherfuckers act like they forgot about Kazu. Kind of guilty, I suppose. He shut me up between the Ibushi match and the well, I suppose isn't shut me up. I've always maintained that it's like, no, he's always the guy who in the big moment still kills it. I brought up the Ospreay match, but I certainly forgot that he could maybe hit a tier of match with Kenny Omega that would be fitting of that feud. You could call me guilty as that.
Yeah.
Because these guys, and I love, I have so much to say about this match. There's things I love about the All Japan style, right? Where you see these guys, like it's based on rematches. and you see growth throughout it. And the first 4 matches of the Omega Okada feud really lean on that.
Mhm.
But this match is almost like Kenny's a wounded dog, and
Yeah.
we both remember the old ones. And so you're playing the hits, but like Okada's attacking different body parts. He's able to block the V trigger. He hits Kenny's, I forget what it is. Kenny goes to strike him maybe, and like Okada just bats him out of the way. Like Okada's very much in like final boss. Oh, you're not what you once were. Like you can still get this level out of me. I compared it to the Joe CM Punk feud on the preview show, and those two, how Punk was the only guy who could get Joe to a draw. And then in their
Mm.
4th match, they also had like the old dog version of it. And I really felt that way here too, where Okada's like, I'm fresher than you, and I know it, and we're gonna play the hits, and you're gonna look a little worse in each of them. And I just thought they were able to communicate that in a way that was really obvious and easy to understand if you'd seen the other matches, and high level. Like, and Kenny's just a very believable seller in this
Yeah.
hurt thing. I don't know how much he's working in these interviews because he's saying, hey, you know, I'm basically lucky to be alive sort of deal. Not sure how much longer is left, but maybe I'm getting worked on that level because I'm just buying on everything this guy does.
I like the I don't think there's any group of people or subsection of people that know what or more about diverticulitis than wrestling fans. And
true.
and I again, I don't want to be like I sound like, I don't know, an old bastard. It just made sense, but I love them talking about, like, man, like Kenny's abdomen is messed up. Kenny's core strength is in question, and a lot of the moves that he needs to do to beat Okada require a hell of a lot of core strength, and he clearly doesn't have it. So you have these hits happening, but you also are going, what's he going to do to beat him that's not going to require that core strength, but that's also going to kick the shit out of him? And it just like it made you really curious what was next almost throughout the whole match, and I really liked that.
Here's the highest compliment I can pay this match, and I don't think I've said this since the last time these guys wrestled, probably.
Yeah.
I fully believe there was a one-winged angel kick out coming on the spot where Don Callis ends up having to rip the ref.
Yep.
And first of all, I've done that spot in a match before. Had to run in and yank the referee's ankle, and they come out and you have a barking match with the referee. I've done that in a match.
Hanging from the rafters, sold out, line around the block just to see Josh do the
Sold
run.
out Pearl nightclub. But I've done this spot. And I remember the wrestlers communicated to me, it's like, okay, it's on the second calf crusher. So we're gonna do one calf crusher, Cat's gonna get out, and then or Ferg's gonna get out, and the second calf crusher do it. When they got that second calf crusher in, I was so nervous. Like nervous to a whole other level than I was expecting. I was like, I gotta get this guy's ankle in this moment where I'm nervous, actually harder to do. And so tonight, as Don Callis ran out to do that, in what you could only describe as the most important situation ever to do that. Because you can't have the one-winged angel kicked out of. You can't. The ref would have to, oh no, 2-9, something. If you're Don Callis, he had to get from the announce desk. Like, he had to run out there and do the yank. Great work to the AEW camera team, too, here. Like, I was able to bite thinking, oh, a kick out's coming, because they just didn't show Dirty Don at all. Thought that moment was amazing. I agree with Bobby Burritos. Don being involved here paid off massively. Yeah, that I was breathtaking by that match.
I don't want to give any credit to the fellas upstate, but I think the greatest perfect timing I've ever seen is I think it was that Hell in a Cell match with Shane and Kevin Owens and or somebody else, and Sami Zayn's there, and he's jumping off the cell onto the announce table, and he pulls him off at the perfect time, and you're like, that's just years upon years of experience and a wealth of knowledge that we can't even begin to comprehend. Instinct. It's just instant.
Do you know that I love that match? It's like one of the only WWE modern main events that I love.
No, I didn't know that.
It's like that 40-minute Hell in a Cell. I watched it wasted the night it happened. I just got home from the bar at like 4 and turned it on. I've never rewatched it, and I just think of it so fondly. Necron 99, you're saying something interesting. I was ready to buy on the one-winged angel kick out because I assumed AEW would want to put their mark on the feud in that way. I could see that. Yeah, I think I just bid on it because I think these two
Yep.
are equals, and it always sort of made sense to give it to Okada. If you were, I kind of think I said this because I remember people thought Hangman was going to do it. I kind of think Kenny wants only Ibushi to ever do it. That's
I could totally
just the
see
sense I
that.
get based on nothing. I don't think anybody. If you see it again, it'll be Ibushi. Is my sense.
I
Based on
love
nothing.
that he was in his corner.
It was awesome.
Oh, just and just there, like I'm just going to sit here and be out of the way, but you're gonna like. I wonder if he's gonna get involved. I like things like that.
Yeah, and it's very like New Japan, like coming out with your faction, and now that
Yeah.
Ibushi's there, yeah, he's gonna come out with Kenny. Like that's how it goes.
You want to know my favorite modern WWE main event is?
Sure.
Gunther versus Goldberg.
Don't
Charles,
make sense to me.
Little Nate.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it for people. Were you about to spoil it?
No, it's still going on.
Okay. Don't say anything about it. There's people watching this. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna lose viewers if you start doing it. Don't say a word about something else you're watching.
There's been 2 commercial breaks.
Stop saying anything about this match. I don't know how to be clear. People do not want to hear this. They are going to watch this. Yeah, and then you get Ibushi involved. He takes out Ricky. But I just thought that there was this ability to reconjure the magic between these two guys and conjure something that was, magical at the time and magical still. It reminds us all of the time, maybe when wrestling was in a different place, AEW wasn't there. Somebody in the Discord pointed out that it was weird to be watching this not in the dead of night.
Totally.
Which I totally... Although I do think this is only maybe the second one I've watched live. I think 4 was the only one I watched live before this. Maybe the G1, but that feels unlikely. But even just the setting being different, being in an AEW arena, it was genuinely fantastic. I thought they managed to do absolutely everything they needed to do to tell a different story, all while having something that lived up to the caliber. I mean, listen, if you have to rank them, this is probably still 5 of 5, but it's not some sort of giant fall from there. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Ryan does have the NBC Peacock behind him. That's what this is. He's trying to get viewers to flip over. I didn't put this together. Bobby's right.
I got the brain behind me too.
Okay, that right by NBC. I love 30 Rock. Conan's one of the most important guys ever to me. Necron99 breaking my brain, saying it's been 7 years.
Oh, don't tell him.
Oh,
Don't
heavens.
tell us that. Come
Feels
on,
bad.
boys.
Time for my second chat question. And then we're going to go to the answers on the other side of a commercial, Ryan. I'm going to get you pull up our new merch designed by Bobby Burritos, which I love. Love. Chat question. What was your match of the night?
You want me to go to commercial?
Yeah, we get the shirts up here. Look at, oh man. I absolutely adore this one. The Brain Man goes to New York to take on the monsters inside. Designed by Bobby Burritos. You can get your hands on this damn design at wrestlingbrain-shop.fourthwall.com.
Josh, are there any other shirts available?
I don't think so. There was lots of requests for a WBCW t-shirt that had portraits of the top 5 stars of the company, but we said that would be too much work. There's
Wait a
what
minute.
the damn hell? Oh, I love this shirt so much. I want mine to arrive.
Yeah, it rules.
I love the Loudy.
Uncle Loudy.
Come on!
Thank you, Double X. 307
Hell yeah.
gifting us up to Necron99. Appreciate it.
Great shirts. How long are they available for?
Another week and a half. Yeah, 10 days, I guess? A week Wednesday.
Damn.
They go off sale. Florida Panthers
So-
Marlins saying, my shirt's supposed to be here on Tuesday. Yeah, we went with a company this time that isn't going to take 6 weeks and printing errors. We make a little less, but I've actually really enjoyed the experience with Fourth Wall. This is not a sponsor or commercial or anything, but you're paying a little more for, like, we make a little less on them, but it's like, I completely see why. Like, this is it's very helpful.
Florida Panthers Marlin. Sounds like the man. Shap, the hat is exceptional, by the way, to which I say thank you, sir.
Very nice.
It's our Abbotsford pride I got in my head.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
2 Abbey boys right here.
Pride of East and West. Man, these shirts look great, Josh. So where can they get them again?
That's at wrestlingbrain-shop.fourthwall.com, and the
You
links
think
in the
they'll
chat.
You think they'll arrive in time so that we can be dressed accordingly for Wrestling Brain Live 3?
Everybody in the Discord was talking about wearing these at Wrestling Brain Live 3, which is very exciting. We'll have more news on that, not next week, but the week after. You'll have some hard information. You'll get a mailing, or not a mailing list, but what do you say, like an expressed interest thing. You give us your email, and then you get the first chance to buy tickets. You'll have that in your hands in the next 2 weeks, as well as a venue announcement, hopefully, where we're still trying to narrow in on a few. But great way to support us is the t-shirts. Another way is patreon.com/J0SHC. My All-In 2018 review with Justin Morissette, who is my broadcast partner in AEW, went up on Tuesday. There's going to be discussion about this show for weeks to come, so get in there and join the message board, patreon.com/J0SHC. Or just because I've busted my ass this week, maybe just because I've done 6 shows in 6 days.
Yeah.
If you feel like throwing me a tip, I'll even take that. Patreon.com/J0SHC.
Is never this weekend was a very good time to be a member, a Patreon backer for Josh, and to be a part of the Wrestling Brain Discord. That's all we'll really say. But
Yeah, I can't say. Yeah,
there's a lot of good reasons on weekends like this, and a friend of ours joined just for one of those reasons.
that's exactly true. That's exactly right. So especially around, like you say, weekends like these are a great time to get in there.
Yeah, sunny weekends when the weather's good.
Anything else that you want to say about Omega Okada, and maybe even what it does for the legacy, if anything, about this really historically great feud?
The legacy is preserved.
Nick Vander Hughes, you're excused from ever having to sub again. Nick Vander Hughes dropped a 10 bomb of subs last night on Battle House.
What a kind soul. Just they
Sort
did
of. I had to chug 2 beers, and it was a whole thing.
Oh no, I have to drink beer because somebody gave me money.
Listen,
oh,
we hung up Battle House, and I had gone through 11 beers in 2 hours. It was thanks to subs that I got loosey goosey. I turned on. I was gonna play a little Death Stranding after. I was like, I just gotta watch a movie. I can't fucking handle this.
I love that. Yeah, the Okada Omega match was just stupendous. It was outstanding. It kept the rivalry alive because now you want to see Kenny Omega at 100%, or you want to see how he's learned from this new offense against the diverticulitis. So I thought it was great. And I am not the most I am not the biggest curator or historian of this feud, but I know kind of what the matches resembled.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see them come up with something similar but very unique on its own.
100%.
Some Austrian guy just won with a sleeper hold, and the show's over.
Did you just give away the finish?
It's live.
Yeah, people are watching this and gonna watch it after.
You think so?
Yes, that I couldn't have been clearer. People said don't spoil it up above.
I didn't hear that. I thought you were
That's
doing.
not what we're talking about. You went out of your way to spoil it.
It was.
We're talking
Sorry.
about Omega Okada, and you're like, oh, by the way, here's the spoiler.
Yeah, Okada's
What are you doing?
Okada's European. Come on.
Jeez. Sorry, everyone. Edit that out of the podcast, please.
Okay.
Jeez.
He's a dry
I don't know that
fella.
I could have been clearer. We talked about it 3 minutes ago. This guy stopped you 3 times.
Oh, I thought you were doing a bit like, oh, these people in here are big fans of New York, and they can't wait to finish watching so they can watch this exciting show. I thought it was a bit, and so did Irish Mac.
No, maybe for the Discord members who are like 5% of the people who will take in this show. Okay, edit out anything you talking about Gunther from the podcast, and I'll take it out of VOD. Golly. What I was going to say is that there's this idea now of where do we go with the unified title? Like, how upper card is it going to be? And I felt like putting it on Kenny would have meant, which is what I predicted, would have put it at a certain level of somebody can win this. Putting it on Okada makes me think we are in for a haul. That this is going to be another super built title that a babyface is going to have to very much overcome. I think you won't see this taken until Konosuke Takeshita turns babyface, which could be a while because he's got the G1 run,
Yeah.
you got Forbidden Door, and I expect Okada to hold it through all that until Takeshita. That's what I think. Anything from you?
No, I'm excited to have the amalgamated belts at the same lineage and just kind of making it a very credible upper mid card non-world championship, which I think, in all respect to the current champs, AEW really could use and really needs.
Yeah, and I don't know. Hopefully we can get a little more of this Okada. Let's see this every time he gets out there for a big belt. All right, we move one step down. Grimika saying it was a terrible match anyway. How do you know? Oh, you were watching it? It's CEO Mercedes Moné challenging for Tony Storm's World Heavyweight Championship. Bobby says, fuck New York. Yeah, it's not me that we're not spoiling for. It's the people in the chat who asked for it to not happen. I don't give a shit.
I'm so sorry to those people. I do apologize.
Versus Tony Storm challenging for the world title. It's okay. I think they left. We lost 10 viewers. I suspect that was them. Farewell, guys. Thanks for giving us a chance. Tony Storm putting our world title up. I was kind of surprised of how many people were picking CEO Mercedes Moné here. I felt very confident in Tony Storm picking up the win here, but I really thought they had a mountain to climb in terms of expectation. And somehow they managed it. I thought that this was going to be match of the night when it ended. They had this crowd who at this point had gone through 2 gauntlet matches, had to pop a million times for a million things, and had just fully gotten into everything so far. And now we're faced with something that wasn't going to be super work rate heavy, was going to be really heavy on emotion and who you thought was going to win, but they were buying on everything here. So the Mercedes Moné enters on a low rider in Texas, much like Eddie Guerrero. And then we get this super cool, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, if somebody knows, but this is like a Dick Tracy vignette for Tony Storm, who does a little detective work. This was like, they just caught a vibe here where they managed to harness their star power. It felt like 2 titans colliding. They did a couple funny moments with Luther that I really enjoyed. Ryan, I'm sure you've also seen Luther locally when he was just in ECCW. Definitely not the Twilight Zone, Necron 99. I've seen every moment of the Twilight Zone 10 times. There's red and black. There's not an instance of red in Twilight Zone. But Dick Tracy has like early color. You're coming at me with the Twilight Zone. Believe you me. Absolutely not. And then I just thought they didn't get a bell pop like Omega Okada did, but the feeling in the building was that this was gigantic. What did you think of the actual match itself?
So this was a match that I was the most excited for, and I was asking myself, like, I don't know, existential questions, like how does a match become a classic? How do you, like, we've watched 150,000 wrestling matches. They're all in the grand, you boil it down, it's the same thing. It's like, what do they do to make it special and unique and stand out? And I was just kind of like asking myself these things because I was genuinely really excited for this match. And they started doing things that just, I thought it started out a little slow and it quickly ramped up into a third or a fourth gear really fast. Like, one thing I loved about this match, like, there were comedy spots and the wrestlers were taking one another's taunts, the dance or the kind of the goofy things that Tony will do, kicking her legs in the air and stuff, or where Mercedes is sitting on the middle rope saying, "Yeah, come back in, like I'm putting on a wrestling clinic for you," and Tony does the goofy little thing. I laughed at all of them, and I thought they were so good, and it just added this, like, so much character and personality to the match. But the silliness did not take away from the seriousness of the match one bit. It's like
definitely
these
a
two
gravity the entire time. People are saying it was the timeless zone. I
It.
don't know what to tell you. It had red. The entire Titantron had red in it. It is pre-color. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Then they did a bad job of it. Does anybody know what they were actually taking the look from? Like
We'll
early
find out.
color television.
I'm
I'm gonna say it's Dick Tracy.
Probably. Well, Dick Tracy wore a yellow hat or something.
Yeah, but we know that because it was color.
But this was a great match that it ramped up out of nowhere. I loved the Storm Zeros, and I loved the subtle kind of nod that like Tony's better than Mercedes and could get that Superstorm Zero off the ropes out, when she needed it, but she was barely standing up by the end of the match. Like Mercedes gave just about everything. So I like everything they did about the match. It was a classic, and the right person won based on the momentum going into it. And the last thing I would want to see is a championship belt that Tony Storm has made so important and so significant, like the AEW Women's Champions women's title, and thrown it on the pile. I want to see belt collector Monet lose every single thing, go back and like have to work her ass off and get her Everest with that women's championship. So Mercedes will get a win, probably from Tony, but it isn't right now, and that's great because the story they're telling is just outstanding.
There's just part of my brain that loves when Avalanche moves are actually the finisher. Like they're so rare, I feel like you'll see the Avalanche version of the move, and it's always just a big 2.9 spot. Timeless always pins with the Avalanche Storm Zero, which I absolutely loved. They exchange kisses. They do each other's taunts. She goes for a Storm Zero. I don't know if she ever hits one, but Tony slaps on the Statement Maker. Like these are two people who have studied each other and obsessed with each other.
Yeah.
And I just thought that you can return to this. Like there is a chemistry of these two. Mercedes is such a high level worker that I feel like she kind of has it with everybody, but even again, within the expectations, they still managed to supersede it. And that's the greatness of both of these women who just, again, I said it on the preview show, but it bears repeating. Tony Storm got that belt and the division became different.
Yep. She's an insanely special talent. And I think that we're in a great spot right now because you aren't always able to identify when somebody's in their absolute prime when it's happening. We're lucky enough to have that with Timeless Tony Storm right now, and everything about it is great, and I'm just sitting back and enjoying the ride because you didn't realize how good 1996 Shawn Michaels was until about 1999 or 2000 when you
he was
didn't
bad
realize
the whole time is the answer.
He had that one match in Philly, I swear.
Yeah, no good. I would watch these two go again anytime. I thought the moment afterwards where Tony won, it was mirrored Hangman's, where it's like, I am the flag bearer for AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I am the guy. This is AEW, this core people represented. And Tony Storm is arguably their very top star.
Yeah.
And she deserved this win. I don't know who's going to dethrone her. I might lean like a Chris Statlander or Megan Bain type, but I think you got to go with Timeless Tony for a while or take it off her and put it right back again. Like, I think that's fine, but she doesn't feel out of gas at all. I thought this match was, I mean, they were throwing pay-per-view strikes and doing like pay-per-view level moves. Like, yeah, we're going to go there and hurt each other a bit. Like this is the one. People are thinking that. You could like feel that awareness and them truly going through it.
Well, you saw it in the main. You saw it with the choke. You saw it in this match. Like you're like, okay, like this is what we're building to. Like we're not doing this tomorrow, so lay your shit in. XX307 in the chat mentioning that Timeless hit multiple Storm Zeros. She did 3 in a row at one point, which color me shocked that a wrestler on this show did 3 of the same moves in a row and didn't do it as a nod to Eddie Guerrero. But she did 3 Storm Zeros and Mercedes kicked out of them, which I liked because she was doing them like frantically, like, I'm going to get it off here, and I'm going to do it again, and it was like, she's doing the move, but she's not, the attention to detail and the effort and the aggressiveness wasn't in there. She was panic doing 3 back-to-back-to-back Storm Zeros, and I really liked it.
Yeah, great match. Looking forward to what's next for both of them. I suspect Mercedes probably I think Athena's gonna cash in on her. So I think it'll be Athena, Mercedes. And then Tony maybe gets somebody from Stardom for Forbidden Door. That's my guess. We move one more down the card to the tag title scene. It's the Hurt Syndicate putting up their lines, or their belts rather, against the Patriarchy, here represented by Nick Wayne and Christian Cage and Jetboat. Big takeaway here is Shelton Benjamin is as cool as he's ever been. Cooler, awesome, the standout performer in this match. Just willing to German people over ropes, to rough people up in any way that he wanted. He gets to just play old dog. It's like, yeah, I've been around the block, kid. I've seen what you're doing, and I'm also stronger than you, and I'm also bigger than you. It's like trying to fight your dad. And you're like, oh man, there's a lot to overcome here. Even if I'm in a little better shape than what you're not with Shelton Benjamin, you got a lot to overcome. I thought the build to this match was really weak, and I thought that the match over delivered. I thought it was very fun. I'm not even sure Shelton Benjamin is smaller than Bobby Lashley at this point, is something that I've written down, which is true. And he's just killing guys, man. His step knees, the power slams are also firm. They're also hard. Guys are taking turns running in, basically taking offense from him. What did you think of this one, Ryan? Were you able to get into it?
I had 2 complaints from a technical standpoint of the broadcast. One was I found the camera cuts were a little slow to show somebody reacting or emoting to the camera. That's a nitpick. My main gripe was with this match was the entertainment sucks on commentary in the FTR. Like, they sounded bored out of their skull and maybe a little boo-boo face that they weren't in this match. That was
right.
I kind of found myself taken out of the match because I was trying to listen to what those quiet asses were saying, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't. Okay, I liked the match. There was a couple of really good spots, and it involved Jetboat, where they were doing some moves from the ring apron or over the top to the floor, and I think we had just had we had one too many stand there and wait to catch them. And I was like, oh, come on. This is like, we got to stop doing this. And they had a couple of moves that were dives to the outside or big splashes that took out multiple guys that I found very unique and brought a different kind of mindset to doing that spot without saying, okay, I'm ready. So I really liked that. I did not have the most attention to detail for this match. My one thing I wanted to say was FTR were wearing the longest T-shirts possible. They were long shirts.
I thought that there was these fun dynamics of people where the Hurt Syndicate are just these walls for them to run up against, but then they break through. The crowd was coming up for them, so like double team attacks from Jetboat were able to make it happen. There is a big Nick Wayne comeback. The crowd really gets behind here. Nick Wayne almost plays as a baby face. Yeah. Truly great. But then ultimately, you get Lashley crushing Christian, who knows how to sell the hell out of a spear, and he gets pinned. 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Nick Wayne turns on Christian. The weak link of the patriarchy is Christian himself, says Nick Wayne. And everybody, including FTR, who's at ringside, is now beating down on poor Christian. Well, if you are one Christian Cage, you might have built yourself a family, but you've only got one real friend. On this day, out comes Big Cope, Adam Copeland, Ed Copeland. Edge is coming out for the save on his friend. I'll let you lead here, Ryan, because I actually have a lot to say about Cope tonight. What did you think of this?
Well, okay. Everybody their mind immediately goes to Jeff Hardy running out to make the save, and he takes his time doing his dance and his bullshit. At least he was walking towards the atrocity that he's trying to break up.
Ed can't help himself.
Hey, look, he runs out to look at all the people, and it just reminds me of when David Lee Roth was still the lead singer of Van Halen. They were doing the US Festival, and he's all hammered, and he's out in the front of the stage, and all he says to get people going is, "Look at all the people here tonight." And I'm like, that's what Ed Choplin's doing. He's going stage right, and he's like, "Hi." And then he looks like, "Oh, well, they're not going to kill my friend Christian Cage, so I'm just going to do my pyro entrance. But don't worry, I've got my spiked bat." And 90 seconds to 2 minutes later, he makes that save. It took me right out of it, sucked the wind out of my sails. This thing flat out sucked ass, and
He's so
go to
funny.
hell.
He's so funny because, and I don't want to hear a word, and not from the chat. This is more on Blue Sky stuff. That this is nitpicky. There's nothing nitpicky about the wrestler's coming out to save his friend, and he's running to the left to get a little of that babyface fire on the way. It's kayfabe destroying. It is. We all heard from God LaGreca. Dave LaGreca laid this one out. Mark, if I'm laying in the parking lot and guys are beating the hell out of me, and you're sitting there and you're paying the bill, and you come out and you're doing the fake World's Strongest Man stuff, I said, Mark, hey, I'm getting my ass kicked here, Mark. That's Dave LaGreca. And he's right. Mark Henry should help him and run directly there and stop doing the dance, and so too should Cope. But luckily, he sprints forward. I got to say, I thought, we're finally doing the one thing that I was fine with him doing, where we're pairing him and Christian together for a babyface tag run, especially as they're going for a Canadian date.
Yeah.
Exactly. You go back to me at WrestleDream saying, if you just want to do a nostalgia run for Edge and Christian, I think those guys, especially paired with Christian, he can probably still do something worth watching. I haven't enjoyed anything he's done singles, I think.
We got no rock!
Thank you, Dave LaGreca. And burritos. And then he chases off everybody with his spiked bat. And you'll remember months ago, Ryan, Christian told him, Adam, go fuck yourself, which was great. I thought was a great moment. Yeah. And then Ed here hits him with the same position. And he says, go find yourself. And I think they shocked the people. I liked this.
I didn't. You want to know
I think
why?
I can know why. Tell me why, and then I'll tell you why I did like it.
Because it sounds like something. Number one, I have two reasons I didn't like it. Number one, Ed Choplin is a terrible actor, and we can all agree.
He's a very acty actor. He's like a theater guy, a low end theater guy.
The tip of the tongue. The tip of the. Number two, it sounds like a goddamn yearbook quote that you write. You write in somebody's yearbook on the last day of grade 12. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you wrote to Christian in Christian's yearbook on last day of grade 12. Whatever is. Oh, it's a stew. Jay, go find yourself. And then Ed will tell us that on an Sob Instagram reel weeks from now, saying, real life inspiration. I'm like Edward Norton.
This is hard to do on the spot, but can you think of something that would have been better to say in that moment? Because for me, I understand wanting to hear the go fuck yourself moment. Like what? Go hug yourself. Go, spend one.
It's a good line. It's just it's the person delivering the line to me.
I thought it hit, but I think most people didn't like it. It's just weird because I'm an Ed Choplin hater. And I thought this moment actually played, so who knows? Okay. I was in a good mood from the show, though. Maybe I was in a forgiving mood.
So I've two ideas off the top of my head of what Ed Choplin could have said to Christian Cage. Sure. Number one, he could have done an acronym. He could have said HAGS, have a great summer, because it is summertime. He also could have said, what a long, strange trip it's been.
Okay, all right. So you think anything in the yearbook would have worked?
Anything in the yearbook.
Our mutual friend Tyler Paris used to write on the spine, thanks for letting me write on your crack, which I always thought was funny.
Oh, that's good.
That's classic. For me, I thought it played. This is these guys coming back together. The crowd was into it. So at least we got where I thought we needed to go. All right. women's gauntlet time. How do I go through this? All right, here's the participants.
I
order.
wrote them. I wrote down their order of entry. I was
So did I.
paying attention.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, you can call me out if I'm wrong on any of these. We start with Chris Statlander and Megan Bain, who have a little bit of a tete-a-tete, big lady good, slackman style tete-a-tete. It is worth noting here that Anna Jay is alongside Megan Bain. She'll get involved later. Willow Nightingale is our third entrant. Her and Statlander sort of exchange a moment together. There isn't any peace to be made, really, but they aren't really going super hard after each other either. Ty Mello then joins them. I thought she had some nice moments here, some strong strikes. She hits a nice Thez press that had some stink on it. Tekla, who got, I thought, a surprisingly big pop, one of the biggest of the match, who was shortly followed by Jamie Hayter, another really big pop. She's got Sky Blue with her. Queen Amanada follows them, a personal favorite of mine. I was really happy that she got a moment here after being spotlit by Tony Khan earlier this week. Then comes out Mina Shirakawa, who taps out Sky Blue almost immediately, who's not even in the damn match. Then comes in Athena. We'll talk more about her later. Thunder Rosa, Siri, and Alex Windsor round out our grouping here. I thought this match was a corker. I had a blast watching this one.
I quite enjoyed it. I didn't get the tapping out somebody who's not in the that wasn't in the match. I thought that was a little strange. I did like the finish where instead of going for the pin, Mina kind of yucks it up a bit and then goes for a figure four, which is really kind of aligns with her character. So I like the involvement there to get the match, to get the win. But yeah, I think these gauntlet matches were good on this really long card because you could have your moments and have your big reactions, but you could also kind of catch your breath with them. But this was a fun match. There was a lot of great spots, and yeah, it was cool. It was I couldn't believe how over Willow Nightingale was and is. She got a huge reaction when she came out. It was nice to see when Harley Cameron came out. I'm like, oh, she's got a protective mask, which should, because she's pretty banged up. And I'm like, is that?
Oh, yeah, we have some people who are still yet to come here. Harley Cameron does run in. She attacks Anna Jay, and they run off together with it's Cameron, Anna Jay, and Penelope Ford. The three of them faced off together. I thought Tekla was the standout performer of this match. I'm curious who people thought was their MVP of this match. I thought Queen Amanada threw exactly the sort of stuff I like to. But man, you felt the momentum going her way after last night. I thought Athena was the rightful winner here. The O-face that she hits at the end on Mina is absolutely crushing. It's like more twisty than usual. Great impact. Again, I would call it a big show pay-per-view level version of her finisher. But honestly, it's just really a nice showcase of how deep your women's division is now. Or even relative to like a year and a half ago, it just looks completely different. I feel like half of these people would make for an interesting title scene for either Mercedes Moné or Toni Storm exiting here. And they just did a great job working together.
Talking about how, it showcased how deep the talent is, but goddamn, people were stoked to see pretty much every person that came out. There was a very big reaction for everyone in this match. When I think that was just something that I found very special, on a weekend where counter programming has a big women's event that, based on the presentation or the entrance music, you're not really sure who they are. And everybody was fired up about everybody in this match. And I had a few, ideas in my mind of who was gonna win this, but it was a very competitive match for the longest haul. And I'm like, man, countless women could have ran away with it. So I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I haven't seen a ton of Siri, but I'll tell you, the way she dodges stuff, which is like a combination of Lyoto Machida's karate, deking in and out, and like a Street Fighter character. When you press back twice, they like scoot. I don't think I've ever seen a wrestler do that before, ever. That's just like a really interesting way to engage with somebody's offense rather than like rolling past or stepping back or sending them running. It's like, oh, this person karate hops. Okay. It's like a whole different thing. Like opens up absolutely everything. I'm not trying. I think he's canceled. I actually honestly can't even remember what he did, but Mike Quackenbush, I remember being like that when I first saw him. I was like,
Oh yeah.
you can wrestle like this? This is like a totally different thing. Like it's like unlocking. It's like, oh, you can just no strikes, no power moves. Like you can just interesting. So I'm very curious to see more.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be asking Sludge Williams and Matty Mack in the Discord for. I think I saw there was like a big title match that they loved last year that I watched.
Okay,
But
yeah.
I think I've only seen one or two.
It's cool to see somebody debut and just make such a positive impact so fast, and just like to stand out like that. Like I don't know. It's special to see.
Yeah, AEW is a real heads fed, man. Like this crowd follows the online. I don't even know like the casual wrestling fan exists anywhere, but especially there.
No, there's just fans of nostalgia.
That doesn't. Yeah, that's true. That's exactly right. That's who the casual fan is. Somebody who's
Yeah.
like wants to see. Hey, remember this guy? Okay, it is time for the Young Bucks to take on the team of Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. Okay, let's talk entrances. I was laughing at this Young Bucks one. I actually thought it was funny. They came in on like a boat, dressed as the Founding Fathers. They took their sweet time. The boat came up and down. How'd you describe the music playing? Let's see. Music from the time.
It was like Civil War like fight music, where it's like the flute and the drummers, and like, hey, we're gonna come kick your ass, and we're making a lot of noise so you know we're coming.
That's so stupid. I loved it.
It was one of the best things I've ever seen, and I loved how annoyed, Swerve and Ospreay are already in the ring, and they're doing the like. And it fits in perfectly with their bullshit over the top character. Like you're sucking up all of the resources and all the time. Like, can we just like get in the damn ring? So I love that they're like, hey everybody, and then they do an Ed Choplin. They go stage right, get in this magical boat, which looked so perfect. The way they shot it, it looked. I'm like, is there people underneath like holding it up like the old Randy Savage kind of thing?
Yeah, the exact way it worked was actually sort of lost on this. Was it the wheels and then that thing's a structure and they shot under it? Then a far worse entrance from man Will Ospreay, who loves. It's such a weird video game franchise to love is Assassin's Creed, but Will Ospreay does one of those. He's got a bunch of assassins around him. His gear was really cool though, the black and gold. So that helps, but. Yeah, I don't know. I like that they had the Superman sponsorship. I guess Assassin's Creed is also big, but I don't know. Not my favorite. But then we're back to Shaka Khan. This is the Swerve Strickland on the Indies. He goes to Ain't Nobody, and it's sang by JoJo, who is Bray Wyatt's widow. And I thought this entrance was smooth, butter smooth, suited Swerve Strickland to an absolute T. So a tale of lots of entrances here. They emptied the pyro for Will, though, which helped. That was the most pyro I think any one person's ever gotten in AEW was Will Ospreay at All In 2025.
Cody's fuming.
Cody's, definitely steamed. So I thought this match was actually kind of like heatless at the very beginning. Like I wasn't feeling it, and I felt like they were not off, but just sort of had like a going through the motions feel for me.
Sure.
Even still like establishing Swerve and Will's dynamic, which I appreciate you got to do. They're talking to each other. Swerve's trying to do some coaching at one part. Will saying, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I enjoy all that sort of thought put into the match. Then they get into some real Will Ospreay stuff. He hits a sky twister off of Swerve Strickland, which sort of really sets this match off. Then the Young Bucks, we sort of see a different Will Ospreay here. They interrupt a move, and then they really start to piss him off with slaps, and he does like the Hulk Hogan Hulk up. Never seen Will Ospreay do that before, but it got a huge reaction. Then once he's hulking up, in runs Swerve Strickland. They hit they hit their in stereo a house call and a hidden blade right after the Young Bucks hit them with destroyers in stereo, and that leads to an all four guys down spot that the crowd just loves. And then we're sort of off to the races from here. But yeah, I thought this started a little cold. Did you feel that way, or were you pretty into this from go?
I think it ramped up. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I think not every match can come out guns blazing, and I enjoyed the match in the long run. It did build quite well, and I enjoyed the match enough that all of the indie flippy PWG stuff that they did, I was like, it works, and it was good, and everything looked very smooth. There was one spot I watched like 3 times on my Boomer cable on the PVR where Nicholas Jackson is he's on the top rope. He's kind of holding Swerve in like a bit of a last or a old school Undertaker thing, and he jumps down, does this like really tight like somersault flip, and winds up knocking both of them down. And I was like, that is one of the smoothest things I've seen, because when you watch, you look at where he is and then where he winds up. I'm like, how did he not break his neck? So I thought all four guys complemented each other very well. And there wasn't a styles clash except for the tandem ones in it. And it was
great.
good. It was a very good non-overbooked tag team match.
Something I love about this match is that they had me believing it could go either way by the end. There's a situation where Will accidentally hits Swerve Strickland with the hidden blade. I think it's Nick Jackson who ducks it. Will is so crazy. His body control's so nuts. Like, you can see him going for it on the miss. So he like jumps up for the hidden blade. It's just like flying in a straight line. Nails Swerve Strickland. And from there is just forced into Cell babyface mode. He takes an EVP trigger for a really compelling 2.9. Then it becomes a situation where Will Ospreay is hung up in the ropes and the Young Bucks are queuing up super kicks. It's the reflected moment where last time Will Ospreay jumped in and took the bullet for Swerve Strickland. Swerve is now willing to do that for Will Ospreay, runs in what can only be described as a beautiful moment, takes a super kick, takes an EVP trigger, but then Will Ospreay is able to collect himself, clocks Matt Jackson with a hidden blade for a 2.9 on their end. Everyone's on their feet. And then finally a hidden blade house call. Like, you remember how MJF, if you're an audio listener, how MJF and Adam Cole used to do the clothesline double where they collide in the middle? These guys did that with a house call and a hidden blade with timing that you couldn't possibly pray to go any better than it did. They sandwich Nick with the big move. 1, 2, 3. There are no more EVP titles for the Young Bucks. We are all the EVPs. Ryan, me, you, the people, if we're led to believe. And Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland are free to challenge for the World Heavyweight title this year. Great news.
Yeah.
Happy this was the result.
It wasn't my favorite angle. And I think in wrestling history, the power hungry or the drunk on power kind of corrupt, shitty leadership role or authority figure. It's been done to death. They did this here. It wasn't the best. It was paid off accordingly. They've written it off, and it's over. So I was excited to see the EVP stuff go. I wasn't a big fan. I really liked this match. I thought it was smooth as butter. Swerve sold the absolute hell out of that. Was that Sling Blade? No. What's that move called?
I don't know what you're talking about.
When the Young Bucks jumped out of the way, and then
the hidden blade.
Hidden blade, sorry. He he was dead with from that, which I thought was great. And then there were so many near falls, like 2.999s, like in rapid succession after one another, that had me hook, line, and sinker. So I really enjoyed the match, and just like Bobby Burrito says in the chat, this angle was exactly what we needed to move on.
Yeah, to some point, that's its biggest strength. I thought, it really picked up at the end. I thought the ending sequences, the Young Bucks at their best, like able to put together these sort of things, and it's all very rapid fire. And again, I thought the finish was very cool, but I was almost surprised at how sort of slow the beginning was. Not even slow, just, I don't know, juiceless. I don't know, there's something, I don't know. It was very strange to me.
I'll give you that.
I never feel that way about Swerve Strickland matches. I feel like he is the juice. But we'll move down, but before we talk about the match, we'll actually go down one more segment where Adam Cole comes out with one of the biggest boo-boo faces I've ever seen. This made me sad just to see poor Adam Cole. He's out with the TNT belt. We had gotten word earlier in the night on 0 Hour, I should say earlier on the afternoon, that Adam Cole was not able to pass medicals and would not be able to make his defense. And we'll talk about what the match we got in lieu. But first, they send out Adam Cole with it. He does a great job expressing, I'm sure this is real, but it's still not easy to convey on television, like actual feeling. And I felt horrible for the guy here. He says it's really hard to put this into words. I'm so sorry I can't defend this championship. And I have to go away for a long while. I don't want to have to think about the word retirement because I'm just not in the right headspace right now. But I wanted to come out and thank you because you're the best wrestling fans in the world. And I feel the love at every corner, and it means so much to me. I have to come out here and thank everyone for the support. And then he goes on to explain that he'll love everyone forever, and even if he never comes back, these will be moments that he never understands. He puts over the pay-per-view. What's upcoming is this is one of the best shows ever already, and we're going to see greatness takes place. He hugs Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly and hits the Adam Cole baby and one last final boom. I got to tell you, this hit me right in the heart. I really was feeling for poor Adam Cole out there, man. His AEW run has been sort of cursed, it almost feels like. And from all accounts, this is one of just like the sweethearts running around in wrestling. So, man, I really felt it coming off of him here.
I think that most wrestling fans, whether you are a fan of Adam Cole or not, are a little guilty of kind of judging or pointing out like how he looked and his, his complexion or his how much he weighed, and I think it's a good little lesson in life in general that you probably shouldn't make assumptions or maybe you should assume that there's a lot more, and this is a body body focused business, and if somebody's looking like that or isn't looking in the best condition, maybe it's because there's something else going on, and you shouldn't maybe be a little more respectful for it. But I always
push back on this though, because like we only have the information we have.
For sure.
There's like you can't assume. You just have to be able to do both. Like I saw so many people today being like, I don't like Adam Cole, but I feel really bad for him here. You don't have to say the first part. Like you just be like, I feel horrible for the guy here. This is terrible. And I feel like as long as you're saying what you're seeing and being honest the whole time, you can't be held too hard to account. Like if another guy comes out there and like lost 30 pounds, they're like, well, if he has leukemia, I don't want to say anything. It's like I'm gonna be like, he looks like shit out there.
Yeah, and that's very valid, and I completely agree.
Yeah, they're just different ways.
It is sad, like you said. He's a lovely individual. I don't know of too many people outside of Tony Schiavone that dislike him, or at least disliked him for a bit. But no, I mentioned off the top of the show that like John Moxley's an artist, like so is Adam Cole, and he performed his art at the highest possible level, and to
over
have
and
that
over
take
different feds
and have that taken away from you, I couldn't even begin to have the slightest understanding of how difficult all of that was, what he's going through right now. So only positive thoughts for Mr. Bebe.
So this is where I have criticisms. I don't know if it's of the match or of the booking of the match, but it's about this 4-way that they book for the TNT title. So I actually like the Dustin Rhodes win. I think that's nice in Texas. The crowd was happy to see it. I have no problem with Dustin Rhodes having a short TNT title. That's not my problem with this. I just think they did a borderline horrible job of taking this really emotional moment and managing to harness that into the match, which can be done. We've seen it done before. And I don't even know if I really want to blame the performers. I don't know how you don't pull an audible here. It's not like Roddy or KOR were announced for the gauntlet. Like, how do you not have one of those guys in here as the Adam Cole avatar in this moment? Because the crowd was looking for something to do. Daniel Garcia's sent out there, and he's doing the dance right after you've heard that Adam Cole's about to die. Whatever. Oh. It's like, not about to die, but you know what I mean? It's like this grim funeral feeling. He might have to retire. And it's like, I'm like, what? Who sent them out here to do this? This is so crazy. Like, you have so much emotional resonance in the building, and you can tell the crowd doesn't know what to do. They're like cheering for Kyle Fletcher offense early. Like, they're not getting behind the baby faces here. Sammy Guevara, I know he has the Texas connection, but like, it was so flat. And I just felt like this was a really weird moment in the show to go this really great moment with Adam Cole where he really added a lot to this pay-per-view. Like, this is a part of this pay-per-view that people remember and talk about, and he was out there real. And then I thought these guys had the worst match on the card by far, and they didn't harness anything that came before it. And I just don't get not having somebody. Is there other people on the roster who are Cole adjacent who would have worked? I can only think of KOR or Roddy, but I'm sure there's other people that, and I mean, I wouldn't have done MJF, but you start thinking of people who are Cole adjacent, gives people somewhere to put that energy.
Yeah.
Instead, they were just like, well, Kyle Fletcher was going to win, and I guess I still want Kyle Fletcher to win. So he ends up being the rooting interest opposite other guys. They're able to get into Dustin Rhodes at the end, but Garcia and Guevara just weren't bringing it as baby faces for them to like do something with here.
Do you think that they should have put Adam Cole's segment a bit further away from this match?
No, I think they should have. It was the exact perfect spot for everything. I just think they needed a babyface in there somewhere for people to put that energy, or for Garcia to be able to step up in a way, or Guevara to be able to step up in a way. I don't know what that would look like. Do some Adam Cole offense, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm just spitballing. But
Josh,
tie yourself to what's going on.
You're asking you're asking Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara to step up. I mean, people have been asking that for 6 years now.
I'm not asking them of Guevara. I don't think Guevara has it, but I used to see it in Garcia, and I'm falling off the bandwagon pretty hard right now. Which is frustrating to see, because I thought he had a lot going for him. I thought he was gonna be like our Zack Sabre Jr., Minoru Suzuki, sort of Suzuki goon, grappler, wrench you around the ring guy, and he just feels kind of lost.
I thought this match was a little strange. And you said it perfectly. Like, their fans are looking for something to kind of put their, direct their sympathies towards, and then you have like the weird dance off and stuff. And I'm like,
it just didn't match the moment.
It made no sense.
Of course, there was cool stuff like the Spanish fly to the apron from the floor that Guevara hits on Garcia is super impressive. And again, I don't know what you want to think of this, but this is sort of what I mean. But they do a playful, fun thing where Dustin Rhodes goes to hit the Shattered Dreams, and that's the spot where he protects a guy in the turnbuckle and puts one leg on each, and they go up, and he kicks them in the nuts, shatters their dreams. And they take turns where Daniel Garcia goes, no, once Kyle Fletcher's there, and he kicks him in the nuts. And then Guevara goes, no, I want to do it. Then he kicks him in the nuts, and then finally, Dustin Rhodes, the big kick to the nuts. And I was just like, I don't know, guys. I thought it was all poorly. I don't know. Didn't match the moment.
His double bird and his very audible "fuck you" really took it. I'm like, what? Like, you're kicking a guy, a helpless, defenseless guy, right square in the nuts. You don't have to like, it already says enough. It felt off to me, and just kind of off-putting.
Bobby Burrito's cracking me up here. Daniel Garcia. That's tough. That is tough. Tough to see. I don't really have a ton else to say about this four-way, unfortunately. Besides, I suppose from here, I hope Dustin Rhodes, this is like the retirement run, and this is the final belt and the last ride of the last cowboy. And because I'm a Dustin Rhodes fan, I like his matches. He has a good mind for putting matches together.
For sure.
He is kind of entering that space where and this is just where the wrestler, you just have to call it, Tanahashi's in this space now too, where you can just tell the like running around the ring is tough for them. Like, the moves come easier than just like running and hitting the ropes and keeping momentum and whatnot. Like, the mobility they've just taken too many tailbones. Their backs are frozen. He's there. And so I don't expect this to be a big long run, but there's definitely fun matchups. You can give Dustin Rhodes for this and give him some sort of meaningful career on the line against a big heel. Like, I feel like there's a lot of meat on the bone here. The moment in Texas works too.
Yeah, I like that he gets his moment. I oddly enjoyed. There was a stretch for Ric Flair's like 46th retirement before he faced Shawn at Mania. Vince said like, "Oh, if you lose, you're retired." So having those stakes against him, like, he wrestled, I think, MVP at the Rumble. Like, having those stakes just really kind of makes it very easy to get invested in an old dog like Dustin. So I'm all for that too.
Yeah, the Jeff Jarrett push that they tried earlier in the year just didn't respond with me at all. And if they want to do that with Dustin Rhodes, I'm way more into it. A million times more into it.
I would have to agree.
And then the men's gauntlet match, which I thought was not as good as the women's. I thought this was very good. I just like the gauntlet match format. I do think they should go down to one, though. I really do. You can do one gauntlet on per show. But here, and you can check. Did you take notes for this one, Ryan?
I took some notes.
You can check me on order here. Here we go. I have opening with Mark Briscoe and MJF. They're throwing some actually mad strikes right out of the gate. They're throwing fire. I was very into these guys engaging. MJF, of course, gets a huge pop. He has an MVP with him. I love that act. I think there's a chance MVP goes with MJF when they break up and the syndicate stays together, being just Lashley and Benjamin. Then out comes Ricochet. Show some love, chat. Show some love. Some ace posting from Ricochet this weekend. What do you say about the New York?
Bitch
program?
move. Oh.
Yeah, bitch move. That's right. Show some damn love.
What a 180. Just everything he does. I'm just like
how about his performance in this match?
Oh,
this guy lines up to take every fucking move. he is the MVP of this one, running away, unless you count Mystico's entrance. Mystico's entrance might have been the MVP, but I thought he was breathtaking. Ricochet in this, not breathtaking in terms of how much pain he was willing to take. He was a madman here. He's followed by Bandito, who Mystico took some time on the outside of this one. Konosuke Takeshita sprints to the ring like his ass was on fire. I loved it. Then out comes Mystico. Then Josh Alexander. Then Anthony Bowens. Then Kyle O'Reilly. Then Roderick Strong. A massive pop for Brody King.
Oh, hell yeah.
Something with this guy? Can we give him 1 minute of promo or one vignette or one win? Anything? He's so over off of nothing. All him. And then, okay, well, we'll get into there's some outside of the ring shenanigans, but Ibushi, The Beast, and Max Caster and Hi Stevie are your final arrivals. What did you think of this gauntlet? Give me the helicopter view on whole.
I enjoyed it. I liked I enjoyed Ricochet getting his ass kicked and taking all the finishers, and it was funny to see the Guns return and be involved after some curious quote tweets. I
didn't mention Juice Robinson. Sorry, in between Brody and Ibushi is Juice Robinson. Sorry, that's my mistake.
A clean-shaven Juice Robinson, which I think was one of the more polarizing things from this match. And
I agree with
show.
You. I agree. That was deeply polarizing.
Well, because you thought he looked great.
I was very happy to see him. I understand that he looks weird. Listen, I think when you have somebody who you think of with his beard and you put them clean shaven, there's no one who doesn't look weird in that moment. 0 people. 100% of people look weird if you're used to seeing them with a beard and then they shave the beard. It's never happened where they don't look weird.
That's why people have beards.
To adjust. For me, I just think Juice Robinson's ready to go. I think he's so top of card potential, awesome promo, actual organic babyface that maybe is only rivaled in the way Mark Briscoe can do it.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see him. I agree. The Guns involvement that helped even the odds against the Gates of Agony, they got a big reaction too. That's what makes me feel better about these rumors that they were going to follow Mariah May to OXT. So that makes me feel better about that.
What a great idea that is.
I thought the Beast did some awesome shit in here. Of course, Ibushi, very fun to see him as ever. He goes and does the big kicks on everybody. Can't cover everything in this match, of course. I swear to God, Mystico and Bandito at some point, they must have just yelled in Spanish. If you speak Spanish right now, take 10 minutes on the outside. And then they just went and chilled. Am I wrong? Did anybody see that? I swear to God, those guys were just gone for a while. I'm sure that's true of some others.
All you can do when you see that level of selling, you just tip your cap, because that's how it's done in the wrestling business.
That's old
baby.
school. Old school. Big pop for Max Caster, who doesn't quite succeed in getting the arena to go, let's go, Max. You're the best wrestler alive. But he kind of gets it going in a way that just felt all the more fitting to the character. But MJF picks up the win on Roderick Strong at the end here. I was a little surprised at that result. I just don't know why you need MJF to win this to be in the title scene, but that's nonetheless. I thought this was a lot of fun.
I love seeing the Acclaim kind of reunion there as he's doing his dump
over his dead body.
He's just dead. And I thought he was going to say like, oh, hey there. But no, it was, I really like that. And I like the the typical shitbag MJF finish to get it. But I agree with you. I don't think he needs it. It's a nice to have, and it fits a shitbag heel like MJF. So I don't know. It's just an easy tool in their back pocket to use if need be.
I think you'll probably agree here too, Ryan, with Seventh Offensive. It feels so good to be so wrong about a guy who 180s you into loving him. Yeah, it doesn't happen all that often in wrestling for me. I'm trying to think of who. There's other ones, but he would definitely be. Jay White would be one that I really came around on.
Really?
Who? Yeah. I was. I think early Jay White, when he's like really like smaller and like his Hot Topic dress era, is really whack. I was at his debut Wrestle Kingdom when he took on Tanahashi. Yeah.
You're like, who's this pipsqueak?
Who's this pipsqueak? But now, like, super leaned out, leader of the gun. I like him as the face, the very serious face of like the goofy people around him. That's just, I think he just kills in that role. I don't like when he has to be funny or do any of that, but when he's like the serious mob boss leader with his pack of hyenas, like, I just love that, and I think he kills it.
That's great.
And I've really grown to appreciate him as like a counter wrestler, and like his whole style is based around. It's not Mikey Whipwreck, obviously, but it is sort of like spiritually that. It's like, what's coming my way? What can I do with it?
He's definitely been miscast or put in some difficult situations and had some start and stops. So just I think if he was able to kind of have that runway and have those opportunities, my opinion would be a lot more glowing of him.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And he's another one who just seems like the AEW run has never really got going. And you could tell they're going to put effort into him. He got a world title shot against MJF. Grant, I wonder if he was just like, after he had to lose to Daddy Ass and one-legged pirate MJF, if he was like, oh, okay. That's it. I'm feeling hurt, boss. Yeah, I'm not. Keep that paycheck coming. I don't feel so good. But I thought the men's gauntlet was a lot of fun. I think putting these in the opening of the card, get them seeing lots of people, keep them popping. It works as like a early show spot.
I like the format. Like,
me too.
There isn't a lot of just like pointless eliminations or defeats, and you don't have people just like, I don't know, like in a Survivor Series match or something. It's like, I lost with a suplex. Like, no, There's a reason, and like you don't have to see dumb formalities happen. I think it's good.
I agree, and there is like that sudden death element that just is super compelling. I would really like if on a big stage, you just have to do this sometimes. It's like the failed cash in. Like, yeah, it's less interesting, but you have to do it. I'd really like to see one of these on the big stage and at like 5 guys.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would...
just so you know it can happen. Maybe you don't want a big stage yet. Okay, maybe that wouldn't be the best idea in the world, but at some point I'd like to see them run one of these. It's like I always said Okada needed to have during his title reign some match where he just went 3 minutes, just blasted the dude, because you just knew the first 20 minutes are going to be warm up at some point.
Yeah.
That was the gauntlet. MJF moves on as the #1 contender. I don't think him and Briscoe was anywhere near done, I will say either. All in Texas opens with the trio's titles on the line. This makes a lot of sense. You want to keep the Death Riders out of people's minds. You show them early, and then you know they're showing up in the main event, so you get them out there. Gabe Kidd, a real treat for me to see. I fly his flag behind me. A huge fan of the man. I like him getting these big spots. And yeah, there it is. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan got me this flag when he went to Japan. How nice is that? Or towel? Scarf? What do you call it? Scarf?
I think it's a scarf. Yeah. I think it's I don't know. It's a towel. It feels very towely.
It's a towel terry material.
Yeah.
Who knows? No way to know. Opens up with the Ops winning the tag titles. Now this was Kev Sell in the Discord who said that he liked that this was a very non-typical trios match, that the trios titles we usually associate with being a bit more high work rate and flippy, for lack of a better term. And this was a lot more of a brawl between 6 guys, and I appreciated that about it too. It really exists to have the post-match moment of the Death Riders writing off specifically Samoa Joe. They give him the concerto. The crowd hates to see Joe leave. I like protecting him like this, like that. Okay, we don't have a spot for you in the main event. You get a huge pop, but we're writing you off, or else it doesn't make sense for you to not be there. I appreciated that level to attention. I enjoyed all the Claudio moments in this match, as I tend to. But ultimately, I felt like this was a get them in their seats and let's slug it out sort of deal here, Ryan. Do you have much to say on this one?
I continue to... Josh, you're good at many things. One of those things is selling. and you did such a great job selling Gabe Kidd to me. I think it was when we watched him versus Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh,
And
great,
just
great.
like outstanding match. But I knew nothing of Gabe Kidd until that moment, and you really contextualized this kind
Oh,
of
thanks, man. That's
shit-eating wild man and having a lot of the characteristics of our favorite wrestlers of yesteryear. So I really enjoyed what he was doing in the match. I thought he was looking shifty and unstable and could do some crazy shit if he needed to, and just look mean. But yeah,
He is a
good.
mean-looking guy. I love his run right now, and you'll appreciate this as a Bret Hart fan, Ryan, because he's so beloved in Japan right now and so hated in America.
That's
And
great.
that dynamic, as somebody who watches him in both realms, is just extreme. Makes him feel so pro to me. It's like,
Yeah.
and he's not that different. Of course, he's doing the things you would expect, but it's like the character's pretty consistent. And I think that's just so cool. And I appreciated him getting on the All In card. I don't like this, but I think he's going to sign with AEW in the next year and a half.
Yeah, and
Well, he's what? His contract will be through Wrestle Kingdom next year. Could he do another year? Could it be 2.5 years? I don't know. Yeah, I could almost see after Wrestle Kingdom in January.
obviously you want it, but you don't. But I think the general theme of this whole conversation and based on the pay-per-view and the build is that there's trust in the direction of this company. So if he does sign, the way he's being presented now, I think he would. I think he wouldn't. I don't think he would change too much. I don't think that Tony would jazz him up a little bit. I think that it's something that works really well. It's something lacking in wrestling right now, and everybody knows it. So he'll come when he comes here. I'm not worried about him getting a Blake Monroe name or something.
No, I don't think it'll be anything like that. I just think he's so interesting in New Japan, and not having him there hurts my interest in New Japan more than having him
Yep.
in AEW raises my interest in AEW. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because there's a huge exodus and uncertainty in New Japan right now.
Yeah.
And if you can have a guy that you believe in to the extent that you do with Gabe Kidd, you stay
Keep you
there. Bill, you can't leave because they need you, and I need New Japan to be good, and New Japan is good when you're there.
Folks, what a pay-per-view AEW All In Texas was. What a show tonight, Ryan. You killed it. A man on fire on the takes, co-host on the post show. 2 hours for a 6-hour show is actually a better ratio than I usually do in terms of keeping things short. So we'll count that as a small W.
Yeah.
I don't know how many hours of shows did I do this week on the channel. I don't know how my voice held up.
You did too. Were you running Battle House, or were you just watching?
No, I was on it too. Yeah, that was 2.5.
My God. But it doesn't matter. Like, these are the opportunities that you put the work in, and you see the big audiences, and it's all worth it. I mean,
furthest thing from complaining.
Yeah.
Enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, and all I know is I spent Wednesday and Thursday night in the sweat box, and Saturday morning I've bought an air conditioner for it, and I'm comfortable as hell. So it all worked out gravy for me.
Well, hugely appreciate you and Bobby both stepping up, doing extra shows this week. Massively appreciate it. Appreciate all the support from the Brainiacs. It's been such a fun week. Battle House last night was an unforgettable riot. If you want to go check that out on VOD, I highly recommend it. You can see me get through 11 beers and celebrate throughout. You can see, anyway, I won't check it out if you like it. Meltdown Monday. It's Never Ending Weekend Infinity, so come on back. It's an enormous show. King's Crown 4v4 elimination match headlines. It is Kurt Kidman's Bone Crushers versus Shinji Kagetoru's new future after Kurt Kidman nearly cost Shinji Kagetoru a loss against Joe Henry last night. So, angle alert. That's all I gotta say. So, check that out this Monday, 4v4 elimination. Check out Ryan's podcast, The Hardest Podcast to Podcast. He's going through the White Stripes catalog, one song at a time with guests. Both Zoobs and I have appearances on it. You can start with those, and had Alan Cross. If you're a Canadian radio geek like me, you know what a big get that is. So check that out.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm hungry as
done.
a horse.
Yep.
Great week. Happy All In week, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. Love and energy. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Love and energy.